but I always look at those down seasons as free life college. And you ain't got to pay one student loan back.
Say that again. That's a drop mic moment.
Love your big old thick thighs.
Right,
like them thighs caught the cell phone from falling in the toilet a time or two. You know what I'm saying? Like, love all of you. We got divorced. Look, you already count with your third finger. Why are you already on the three?
I'm good because it's like you got more. If you step back and stop fixing things on your own and let him fix it, he will send the right resources and people that you need in order to be whole.
Jonah was told to go to Nineveh. He was like, let them die. Let them die. And God sent a fish. Said, fish, go follow Jonah. Yeah. He gonna need transportation back to where I told him to be in the first place.
This is Henry Fernandez, and welcome to the podcast, my friends. Now, today, we're going to talk about a topic that we all can relate to. When life knocks you down, what do? Get back up. That's your job, to get back up again. We have a very special guest with us today, Pastor Kimberly Jones, also known as Real Talk Kim. She travels the world fulfilling her passion and purpose of loving people. I love that. Loving people back to life. And she's a mother, a pastor, an entrepreneur, a mentor, motivational speaker, entertainer, and best-selling author. I want to welcome Real Talk Kim to the podcast. Welcome.
I'm so honored to be here with you.
Good. I love your vibe, your spirit. So instead of a shaking, can we do this? That's
blow it up.
There you go.
Blow it up.
See, I forgot that part.
You got to blow it up.
Blow it up. All right. She's teaching the bishop how to do certain things.
With my 51-year-old self.
So glad to have you, man.
Man, I'm super honored.
I've been looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah.
Because we're going to give hope to people out there. When life knocks you down, you get back up.
And it's going to.
Absolutely.
I think that we have to realize that life is going to knock us down. Like the Bible says the rain falls on the just and the unjust.
Right.
But it's going to knock you down. But I always look at those down seasons as free life college. And you ain't got to pay one student loan back.
Say that again. That's a drop mic moment. Say that again.
When life hits you, you fall, right? But when you get back up again, it's like free life college. You learn more in the valley than you do on the mountaintop. It's that divorce. It's that bankruptcy. It's that addiction. It's that molestation as a kid. What you learned, man, when you were down.
So you went right there. You went right into where I am
It's because I messed up a lot this year.
Because you are the perfect candidate for this conversation here.
Yeah.
How bad has life knocked you down?
Man, so I was a preacher's kid. And my daddy was really strict. Like we couldn't even wear short sleeves because short sleeves gonna make every man fall. The elbows are sexy, man. We didn't have TV. Like we were strict. Like my daddy was sending everybody to hell.
Yeah.
And I remember one day at about 8 years old, I'm watching the choir, and the choir's up there singing, one glad morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away. They looked like they had lost their best friends. And I remember thinking, man, if I got to go to heaven with these people, I'd rather go to hell. For the rest of my life, I got to be in heaven with these people. And that shifted me.
Wow.
At that moment, I started, man, if you told me I couldn't do it, I was going to do it. Ran away at 18, got married, my mama said the wedding lasted longer than the marriage lasted, the wedding lasted longer than the marriage. They sent me away to Bible school, found another man, because I always wanted what my parents had. And they'd been married 52 years. And so I was a glutton for love. Right. So I was always just, there's this preacher there, we gonna get married, I'm gonna be a first lady.
Right.
So I did a lot of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's stay right there because a lot of people can relate to looking for love in the wrong places, and especially those of us in the church.
Yes.
Church, we don't want to deal with the reality of, okay, yes, we want to get to heaven. Yes, we believe in living holy and righteous, But the reality is, as a man, you are wired a certain way to be attracted to the opposite sex. As a woman, you're wired a certain way to be attracted to the opposite sex. So the desire is to find that lover in your life. In your experience, what would you say are some of the bad things people do looking for love in the wrong places?
Oh, Lord, I changed me. I changed who I was. I remember even after I walked through divorce, and I was raised, you get divorced, you're going to hell on a slip and slide.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I should have been in hell several times, you know? And so I lost me. I was ashamed, feeling unworthy. Like, man, I literally went through most of my life.
Was it because of how you grew up, the religious?
Yes, and I hated it. I hated watching my mom like a wallflower. You know, she was like this wallflower. The men looked like they stepped out of GQ, and the women looked like they were hobbits. Like, and I just kept thinking, God, you hate women. Why'd you make me a woman? Like, you hate women. Like, we got to go through childbirth. Then you got dumb Eve representing us. And Eve, if she just would have stayed in her lane, you know, apples ain't even good without peanut butter. And now we're going through, so I just think I was just angry. I was just angry. I was ugly. I went to high school. They made me wear blue jean skirts and kids, and then I had jacked up teeth. And
well, so the self-esteem.
Yes.
You know, because you're all up in the questions that
I know it. We have to flow with me because listen.
Which is great. Because, you know, here it is. You're really ministering to a lot of women.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we men, we don't really quite understand what you guys go through, but you're dealing with the low self-esteem.
Yeah, big time.
You grew up, like me, in holiness.
Whew.
Pentecostal movement.
And you couldn't do enough.
Nothing. You couldn't even. I mean, if you sneeze without saying God bless you, you're going to hell.
Like, I mean, everything was going to send you to hell.
Absolutely. And to know that a preacher's kid, you were able to take a path that was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? But you're redeemed today. Look at you today. We're going to get to that part.
It's beautiful.
But talk about the self-esteem issue. How bad can that be? Because I want women to hear this. How bad can that self-esteem issue be? What are some of the stuff that they do that fuel that bad image of themselves? And then part two of the question is, what can they do to change that? What did you do to change?
You know, for me, it was, you know, I was in special ed most of my childhood. I just didn't get hooked on phonics. And so I just still, when you follow me, I don't know how I've written 5 bestsellers. I have no idea, but I have, because I do not know where commas go. Like, you have to be in the Holy Ghost trying to figure out what I'm trying to say, because I get so excited. I just talk, run on sentences. Yeah. But for me, it was trying to pretend I was something that I wasn't, because I never felt like I measured up. Like, I always knew I was my whole life, you know, that's just Kim. You know, that's just Kim. Kim's just, that's how she is. She says what she thinks. And I was big. I was taller than my mom. She's like 5 foot tall, 99 pounds soaking wet. She's an Amazon. So all my life, I just heard these, which is what a lot of us women hear, you know, especially now with social media. It's even worse. Because we got highlight reels, you know, we got these stretching apps that can make you look like you a size 2 when you're really a size 14, you know? And so we deal with this, I'm not measuring up, especially y'all here in Florida too. Mm-hmm. Y'all got the queens up in here. True. And I think for a woman like me, or women that are got a lot of tenacity, a lot of, I'm a boss chick. Like, if I touch something, it's gonna blow up, and I just know it because I just ain't got no quit up in me. But then we're suppressed. You know, it's like you're too much. You're suppressed, and so for women like me, I think we're trying to find our way, trying to find our lane. It's either make a ton of money or get married.
Whoa.
Right? Whoa. It's either be a boss or not ever get married. It's like you can't have it all because society gives you these rules.
Right, the pressure.
Yeah, and so I think for us women, it's just learning to love who we are.
Right.
Like learning, love your big old thick thighs.
Right.
Like them thighs caught the cell phone from falling in the toilet a time or two. You know what I'm saying? Like, love all of you. And for real, Fall in love and don't lose it.
Right,
And then you'll
right,
attract the
right.
greatest things in your life.
Has there been a time in your life where you've allowed a man to cause you not to appreciate yourself?
Oh, yes. 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 Up until probably the last 4 years. Like I was the queen of, they liked me. I had no problem getting men. Let's understand this.
Right.
I learned this too, and it helped me heal. I had no problem getting a man. It was keeping them. Like I can get them, but I can't
But you
keep
can't keep
them.
the, because question, how many times you been married?
None of your beeswax.
Okay, you heard that.
No, listen. Okay, we got to talk about it.
I love
We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it.
Yes.
So I was married at 18, and it lasted not even a year.
one.
2. So listen to this one. I was at World Harvest Bible School with Pastor Rod Parsley, which is my spiritual dad now, full circle. And I met the piano boy. I married him, but we lasted 18 years. So that's a long time. We lasted 18 years, had 2 beautiful boys out of it, Morgan and Lincoln. We got divorced. Look, you already count with your third finger. Why you already on the 3?
I'm good because like you got more.
We got divorced after 18 years of marriage because of addiction. Both of us preachers' kids and church hurt.
Right.
And he just couldn't get it together. And I moved back in with my mom and dad at 36, stayed single for 4 years, almost 5 years, living with them. Met a man on social media, slid in my DMs. He was 15 years older than me. I thought, this old man gonna get me out of Bloomingdale's.
Slide in your DM.
I thought this man's gonna get me out of Bloomingdale's. I had never preached a sermon in my life. I was 36, never preached a sermon in my life, living at my mom and dad's, stuck. And this man comes in like on a chariot and just like, girl, I got you. I met this man twice, and I married him.
Wow.
Now that one lasted 8 years, but in the process of being married to him, God opened the windows of heaven over my life. I found Kim in the middle of it, and his character couldn't keep up with my purpose.
Wow. Because your energy, you see, you have an energy right now. Not all men can deal with that.
Really?
It's going to take the right one because, you know, a lot of guys feel that, not all men, but some guys feel a woman should just be quiet, be in the background, but you're full of life, you're a go-getter,
life.
which is a plus for a guy of destiny, right? But I want to get back
I love that.
I want to get back to that issue there of the failed relationships. Would you say some of those failed relationships were a result of a dysfunctional family, home? Talk about that.
You know, and I think about that often because for the last 4 years, I've really worked on me. I really thought I was the gift that kept on giving. And I hit rock bottom 4 years ago and had to find the rock at the bottom, which was Jesus for real. And I was already preaching, traveling, and I had to deal with the fact that my dad at 15 years old walks into the house and says, oh, you can go cut your hair now. You can we're coming out of United Pentecostal. I found the grace message and literally lost all of our church that day. So all the friends I grew up with. Oh yeah. Wow. And so I had to deal with, I'm afraid of abandonment. Like I'm afraid of, my dad was too much. Like he came out of that religion. So now I'm a lot like my dad. And so I would just keep packing it down and never dealing with it. And the last 4 years, I've really dealt with me. Like I've really looked at it and thought, what did I play in these situations?
Right.
Like I never, even in my books, I don't talk about the other person because it takes 2 to tango.
Right.
And even if I didn't cause the defunk of the relationship, I still chose them.
Right.
It was the law of draw.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely think it was. I think it was me trying to find out what a true woman was. What's our place? What's our place with a man? Can we be a millionaire and have a successful relationship? Will a man be okay with that? You know, can I still cook at home and still be that boss chick, or do I have to? Can I submit and still be who God created me to be? And so yeah, I found that.
Okay. So would you say all 2 or 3 divorce?
3.
Did they help you to find yourself?
Oh, yeah.
And how so?
And literally, if I had to go back, I would do it all again.
Wow.
I would do it all again because
Because of the value of the
man,
lessons you learned.
listen. Yes. I couldn't have went to Bible school and found the Kim that I've got now. The anointing on my life that I
It's
carry.
finding your best self.
Yes.
Allowing the issues of life that when life knocks you down
Yes.
is to use it to your advantage, because the scripture says all things
Work together. Romans 8:28.
Wow.
He's working it all together. And he knew. Bishop, I used to always tell, I know you said I call you Henry, but I
Yes.
can't call you Bishop. I can't call you, listen. It's all about honor for me, man. I honor
But
you.
Henry's cool.
But
right?
I literally have found the voice inside of me. Like I have found the sweet, the kind, man, I will love the hell out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I know how to love now.
Well, and I want women to hear this. You just said something that really hit home to me. And if every woman can do this, I think you'll be your best self. You will find that guy and you'll be able to relate to him better. You will not even worry and panic over you finding a husband, because not everybody's going to get married.
No.
But what you just said hit me, Kim. You found the sweet in you. You found and you.
Oh, I'm gonna be a whole man's piece. You hear me? You hear me? He gonna be like, baby, will you cook some cookies for me? I mean, what kind you want? What can I do?
Wow.
I have.
Wow. The circumstances of life
Yeah.
forced you to find the sweet in you. How did that change your personality? Depression. Was there depression ever in your life? And did this sweetness that you found, did it help you eradicate that depression?
Yes. Man, when I tell you, it is like I can't, when I even try to explain myself, even 4 years ago, like I had a mohawk, like I'd be saying, bye, Felicia. Just me taking or leaving. And I was like, everybody's leaving it. What's going on? And I found out that wasn't working. And I started thinking about, I remember my mom after my daddy died. My mama goes, baby. She just started crying one day. A lot of people know me. She was like, baby, I just, your mama's not going to be here forever. Mm-hmm. And I just want you to get a man that's going to love you. Right. Love your lights out. And that hit me. I was like, man, these Birkin bags, Gucci sweatshirts, they're not going to keep me warm. Who's going to travel with me? And I went on a journey, man. I would lay hands on myself. Bishop, I lay hands on myself laying in bed, and I'd be like, God, help me be so genuine. Like anything that is in me that is stifling me from finding peace. Because you can make all the money in the world, but if you ain't got no peace, right. You can get up and preach. I was preaching all over the world and not having that peace. Never feeling like I fit completely in. And man, something happened to me. I started finding that peace. It was like I woke up one day and it was like my language changed.
Wow.
I changed.
Did you feel at any given time you were toxic?
Oh, yeah. What? I was toxic. I could cut you out. I could cut you down with my mouth. I'd be hurting, devastated, and saying it. It was pride. I had pride. Yeah, like I'm not gonna lose this thing. Like I don't need. I told my baby's daddy, for this man, I loved his guts, and I told him for 18 years, I don't need no man. Woke up one day and didn't have one. I was like, what happened? You don't need no man.
Because you spoke it into existence.
Yes, and I started realizing what my words, the power of my words.
What would you say to a woman that's watching, who maybe with that same attitude, because she's been hurt?
Yeah.
She's been hurt. Women have stories of molestation, rape.
Or watching their mama get walked on.
How would you encourage them?
Man, finding Jesus. I fell in love. And I know that sounds so cliche, but falling in love with Jesus. Falling in love. That's the best thing ever.
Yes, right.
I went on a journey of not needing people's validation, because most of the people that I was wanting their validation, they weren't even valid in my life.
Wow.
And I was literally wanting people's approval. I would tell you, woman, find your worth, because you bad to the bone. You ain't gotta prove yourself to nobody. You just, something about a healed woman. Like, we can birth life. We birth a baby and we'll be in the broccoli aisle 24 hours later cooking, getting food for our baby. We just popped a whole human out of our body.
Power of a woman.
A power of a woman. And that's why the enemy is so after our identity. When we find out who we are, we can walk into a room and never open our mouths. And our mere presence shifts an atmosphere. You make a man want to love you, want to celebrate you. You'll make a man want to, a man ain't that hard. The right man for you, man, he gonna move a mountain for you. He gonna cover you. And it's easy. Listen, the alpha female will submit to that right man, but you got to be the right woman in order to find it.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about starting life over after divorce. So 3 times you've been divorced, and twice you started over before the last time, right? So what lessons have you learned in each of them? Because you have to start over.
Yeah.
First love didn't work. And you start over again. Second love didn't work. Because a lot of people can relate to this. Maybe they haven't been divorced
Probably
3
more
times.
than you know.
Absolutely.
People just don't talk about it.
It's the starting over that's difficult.
Yeah.
How a guy's listening right now, after failed relationship, bankruptcy, you know, we haven't even talked money yet. It's just not just love, sex. It's about stuff, starting a business. How do you start over, Kim, when everything failed, man, and you're at rock bottom?
And
like
everybody's
you.
talking about you.
Oh, forget. Oh,
They are.
God,
They
that's
talk.
embarrassing,
And that's
right?
one of the hardest things for people.
Right.
Is to know that you did everything they said you did. You did it. You were nay-naying and not pray-praying, okay? So what happens when you got to start over with the truth, man, and you got 2 little boys staring at you? You know what you do? I remember I was laying in bed one night, and I was like, God, take this pain away from me. Like, just, you ain't gonna fix this marriage. He's like, nope. Because God talks to me like he's from the south side of heaven. You know, it's like I'll be like falling apart, pitiful. And he'd be like, you through? Like, you ready to get up and do the work? And I was laying in my bed one night, and I was like, God, take this pain away from me. And I was 37 by now.
Wow.
And it was probably the first time I really heard God. Like, all my life, singing on platforms and falling in the floor, acting like I got the Holy Ghost 15,000 times this night in my room by myself.
Yeah.
I said, take this pain away. And I heard God say, I can't take it away. You got to get up and walk away from it.
Get ready to get more out of life. Maximize Your Potential Conference 2024 is coming. Yolanda Adams, Zaccardi Cortez, Real Talk Kim, Bishop Henry Fernandez, and more. Invest in yourself. Get your tickets now and maximize your potential.
Like, you got to get up and you got to walk away from it. And you got to let me use you, girl. And I was like, how are you going to use me? You don't, my daddy don't believe in women preachers. What you going to do with me? I'm at Bloomingdale's. Literally until 10 years ago, I was at Bloomingdale's making $13 an hour. And I remember mad all the way to work. And I remember thinking, I got to get up. Like, nobody's coming to get me. They talking about me.
You have to get up.
Nobody's coming to get me.
You have to make that decision to say, if it's going to be, it's up to me.
I was like, Kimberly, you got to pull your big old thick thigh. Even if it feels like a turtle stuck in peanut butter, pull. And I got myself up. And I started talking to myself every day.
Wow.
And I started falling in love with Kim. I turned off all the music going to work, because I drove an hour to Lenox and an hour home. And I started putting on preaching. I put some TD Jakes on. I put on some podcasts. Not all of it was Christian either. It was people telling you, get your up and do something, you know, like in your face. And before I knew it, my whole thought pattern was changing. I was walking out of depression. I was walking out of anger. I wasn't stalking. I used to pray every night, kill him! Kill him with the train! Because I was like, if you kill him with a train, then Benny Hinn ain't going to bring him back to life. Bishop Fernandez ain't going to be able to bring him back to kill him. And I remember God was like,
I love this. That's so real.
God was like, you do realize I can't do anything with you as long as you're saying kill him with the train, right? So it's like, okay, don't kill him, but hurt him. Baby steps. And man, I was getting delivered. I was getting delivered from anger. I wasn't stalking him no more. I wasn't.
So you used to stalk him?
Oh Lord, like stalk him, like just mad. Like
Whoa.
if he was going, Lord, let her get back boobs. Let her get so fat. Listen, I mean, God had to do a work on me, and He did. He did a work, but I did. I just climbed out slowly. Okay. And you know what? My parents were so good to me.
Yeah.
Because my parents, like, they protected me, man. Like, I remember getting home one night. I was about 38 years old, and I was drunk. I'd been out partying because I didn't like the church no more because, you know, the church walked away from me. Yeah. So now I was like, the world embraces me more than the church. And I tied one on that night, man. And I remember driving home drunk like this one night because, you know, everything's off. And I walk in my house and I knock all the graduation pictures off my mom's wall. Whoa. And I hear my dad coming upstairs. And I was thinking, I'm 38 years old. I've lost everything. And living with my mom and dad and my two sons need me to get up. I was aware enough to think like that. So I thought I was also aware enough to act like I wasn't drunk. So I laid in my bed like that. Wow. And he come and started breathing on me.
Wow.
He said, baby, I hope you ain't hungover tomorrow. He said, because you're going to get up and lead worship. I said, Daddy, I can't lead worship in your church. Whoa. I said, there's going to be an earthquake going to take out your church. He said, I ain't losing my kid. He said, you're going to praise your way through this thing. Wow. And I remember that was a shift for me. It was like, all of a sudden, it was like I saw the face of Jesus. And my daddy wasn't ashamed of me. My daddy was fighting for me. Wow. And that day, something shifted. And I started pulling myself up at 38.
So it is so important for parents, whether father or mother, never to give up on your children.
Oh, don't you give up on them. No, because they're your legacy. And the reason the enemy's fighting them is because he can't get to you. Right? It's that legacy. I was so fought. Bishop, I didn't even preach my first sermon until I was 41. And the only way I got to preach a sermon was because I was sitting in my car in a knockoff Bentley, a 300 Chrysler. And that thing had smoke coming out of it. And I'm sitting on the side of the road and I was getting delivered, man. I was like, whew, I'm not depressed no more.
You're helping a lot of people.
I'm not sad no more. I'm not needing to go get drunk no more. I'm not embarrassed of what y'all think about me no more. I mean, when I was born, I got this revelation, and all of you need to get this revelation. The day you were born, August the 29th, 1972 is my birthday. I was thinking about when I came out of my mama, the doctors heard, wah! But hell heard purpose, destiny, a game changer, a nation shifter, a girl that can finally get it together at 41 years old. And when she does, the devil's going to be looking under his bed to see if she under there every night. Because I'm pulling everybody I can out of hell with me.
Wow. Let's stay right there. You're pulling everybody out of hell with you.
It's personal.
I think this is a great way to segue into the last section of this, talking about getting back up.
Yeah.
Because we all fall down.
Yeah.
But we get back up again. Obviously, you are a fighter. You keep getting up and so forth. I really want, because I think we are really touching so many people. I sense it that there are people probably watching this podcast and with tears running down their eyes, whether it's a mother or a father, whether it's a woman who's been in a bad relationship or someone just looking for love, you know, and so forth.
Or maybe even helping that man.
Yeah, exactly.
That his wife went crazy on him.
Yeah.
It ain't over.
But how would you encourage people to really, in spite of whatever they're dealing with, not just in a relationship, finances, dealing with insecurity and so forth, how important it is for them to get back up and stay up?
Man.
That's the importance.
You know, for me, I had to literally take some people I had in my VIP section and move them to the balcony. You won't let me forget what I did. And I gotta go. I gotta grow.
That's a drop mic moment.
Yeah,
there.
man.
You took them out of your VIP section.
You can't,
In other words, some people got to go.
got to go. Because you won't let me grow. You won't see me out of this. I did it. I was her. But now this girl, you will never see it. And until you can, you're going to be in that balcony. And I love you, but I love you from up there because this season's personal for me.
Woo! Woo!
That's how you get up.
I don't know what to say after this.
Because usually it's the people around us. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
And he uses the people closest to us. But isn't that hard?
Man.
Because there's some people in the VIP, man. Come on now. You know, that's how can I move that one?
Yo mama. Yo daddy. You know, I wrote my first book, Beautifully Broken, that I wrote. There wasn't one person in my daddy's church that bought that book. There wasn't one person on social media in my family that shared that book. But you know what God did? He sent thousands and thousands of complete strangers to support my ministry until they could see it. And one thing that I've discovered is the black sheep of the family always, if they keep getting back up again, turns out to be the goat. Period.
Boom. Drop mic again.
Yes, that's why you got to
The
get
black sheep of the family always turned out to be
They gonna be working for
the
you.
goat. Oh, God. You killing it. You killing it.
It's the
What?
truth. It's the truth. So it's people. Got to really take inventory of the people.
Wow.
Stop taking constructive criticism from people that have never constructed anything that you've walked through. You asking them to tie your shoes and they ain't never been in your shoes. They don't know. So you got to take inventory. And then you got to keep getting back up again without the applause. Get up. Talk to yourself. Stop being a victim in your own story. Stop it. It ain't paying you no bills. It ain't getting you no money. Them emotions, take the E off of emotions and put that motion into action. And get up.
Wow.
Because you got this. The devil, listen, thieves don't rob empty vaults. So the enemy has not been fighting you because you're weak. The enemy comes after us that are trailblazers.
You sure you ever messed up? Yeah.
I messed up, but won't he do it?
Because you are just dropping some nuggets.
Because, hey, you can't tell me God ain't.
Because you
Come on,
firsthand experience.
Come on.
You've been through it all.
Man.
And you know, one of the things, someone told me this, that when you have failed and recover from the failure, ain't nobody can talk about you. You have nothing to hide.
Nothing.
Because, you know, you failed.
Right.
But you have the proof to say, I got back.
Look at my fruit. My fruit will outlive every lie ever said about me or the truth. The fruit now? What?
Wow. How does it feel to be sweet? Because I want to get back to that.
Listen, I am, you can't help but see that I just love. Like, I'm a sweetheart. Like, everywhere I go, I'm like that. I'm going to love you, going to like me. I feel so free, Bishop, that I feel like even my haters, I'm like, y'all just don't know me. If you knew me, you would love me. You know,
Right,
it feels good.
right.
I feel prettiest I've ever been in my life at 51.
Right. All because of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's so good.
Isn't it amazing that when people walk away from religion
Yes.
and find the Savior, how it can radically change your life or perspective of life? Because you grew up in a really strict religious home like me, and you know, a lot of stuff they did and taught us wasn't biblical. But yet, you were able to find Jesus Christ. Yeah. So as we're closing this out, talk to us about how important it is for people, no matter what you're going through, to find the sweetness in them, but make sure it is based on a solid foundation.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You know, I think that when you realize that as long as you're not dead, God's not done. And he'll start right where you rest. If you don't like what you see in your life, just surrender. And the one thing that I've learned about God is the church can write you off. The cancel culture can write you off.
But not him.
But God has a propensity to write you on. He says, come to me, all ye who are weary and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. I mean, look at Jonah. Jonah's one of my favorites. Jonah was told to go to Nineveh. He was like, let them die, let them die. And God sent a fish, said, fish, go follow Jonah. He gonna need transportation back to where I told him to be in the first place. Just find joy. Start filling your soul with good stuff. Unfollow some people in real life. Unfollow some people on social media. If they make you feel some certain way because you ain't where you think you should be at this time, unfollow them for a season. It's okay to be petty while you're in healing. And allow yourself to get free, man. And don't stop till you feel it. You might have a hiccup. You might have a down day. You might go back. You might clap back. You might be ratchet one day and righteous another. You might be hood and holy. But just keep going. Keep going.
Wow.
Until you love your company, man. Ain't nothing like laying in your bed in peace.
Let me ask you this. Did therapy play a part in your recovery?
Yes, I remember, my parents made me go to therapy. They were like, girl, you go to therapy. I know it was because they wanted the church to think they were trying everything to keep my marriage together, okay? And I was mad about that too. Because we didn't believe in therapy. You know, therapy was for broke
And that's
people.
the reason why I brought it up.
Yes.
It's just therapy is just not for Christians. No. You know, trust God, pray, and believe God.
But it is for Christians.
Wow.
And if a lot more Christians would go sit down with somebody and talk, you could save your marriage, right? If you would stop taking out on your partner and begin to go to a therapist and say, this is what my daddy did to me at 4. My dog died at 7. I'm still mad about it. And then you could come home and love your spouse like you should. Therapy is so important.
Right.
And I went, man. I remember I changed 3 of them. I went to the first one. I was like, my parents making me pay $150. You ain't said one word in 45 minutes. That's probably a lot for them. Now that you said that. They're probably like this.
Yeah, that's right.
But I was just.
You shut them down.
Yes.
In fact, you were probably giving them therapy.
I remember I finally looked at her. I said, her name was Lucille. I said, oh, I only got 10 minutes left. You got 10 minutes to fix me. I just paid $150. And I went like this and just looked at her like, it's your turn to talk. I went in my car and just cried. I was like, boo. I didn't feel no better. And God was like, because you got to shut up. You got to hush. That's your problem. Even when you're talking to me, you never hush. So the next time I went to therapy, I thought, can you teach me how to shut up? You just teach me how to hush. Just listen, because that's always one of those, my point, you know. Therapy is very important.
Has any guy or husbands that you've been married before ever told you talk too much?
Well, the sweet one I'm dating now, which I love a lot.
Right.
Sweetest thing I ever met.
Yeah.
Not in church. He was not a preacher. That's probably why. The first time I ever met him, he was like, "Oh, you're a little aggressive." I was like, "What? Me? Aggressive?" And basically, I was like, "Man, I don't want to mess this one up." Like this one, this one really helped me heal a lot too, because I realized he was worth fixing those little parts of me that still came out. You know, out of
Isn't that like God? That God will send you if you step back and stop fixing things on your own and let Him fix it. He will send the right resources and people that you need in order to be whole.
Who knew? And he will do that. He does that.
Wow.
He says, when you get to the end of yourself, then I'll bring the help, which comes from
therapy really helped you.
Oh, yeah.
And that's,
in fact, I tell people all the time, I tell pastors, like, get to a therapist. Like, even if nothing's wrong with you.
True.
I mean, we pastor.
Right.
So maybe every 4 or 5 months. Now, I feel like I got the edge on it because I get on prayer call every morning and the world's my therapy. You got to talk.
Right.
And I tell them, go at least just make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Like talk about
de-stressing, unloading. Yes.
and it's good. It's okay. Find you. You may gotta go through a few.
But people say, well, I don't want to tell people my business.
I tell it all. Just, you know what? There's something about freedom of knowing that he saw the best in me. And when you can get free with yourself by talking and telling it all, tell the thing that makes you nervous. Tell that thing that makes you sweat. Tell that thing that makes you say, none of your business. Tell it.
Right.
Tell it, because when you tell it, nobody else can tell it. And there ain't nothing like freedom. The people that love you and are supposed to be in your life, they're going to love you no matter what. They got you.
Were there people in your life throughout this drama that you can say, thank God, that person loved me through the process?
Oh, yeah.
Who's that?
Man, my staff. Like, my staff rode with me. I've got some people on my staff that, you know, during this last 4 years ago, like, they rode with me and they stuck by me. They've been with me 12, 13 years. They just had my back. And even in I found out my ex literally was outed on social media. And I found out with the rest of the world. And literally walked into the office and fell in one of my security's arms. He was like, you want to go throw all the pictures in the trash? Wow. Just raked up every picture we had together. So we're going, throw it in the trash. This is therapy. They got my back.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I probably had more people stand with me than left me this last time. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Wow. Pastor Kim, or Kim, you call me Bishop. You have helped so many people today.
Thank you.
With being real. That's why I think you call it the Real Ones.
Yeah.
Right? That's your title, I guess.
Real Talk Kim.
Real Talk Kim. How you're able to really just come with your authentic self in talking with people, being just open. And that's why I appreciate someone like you, because you're giving hope, not just to church people, but the unchurched world, to let them know that the Christ we serve, it is not a God that's looking for perfect people, because if there are perfect people, then they don't need God.
No. And what you gonna talk about?
They don't need him.
Come on.
So he's looking for people who are watching
that.
this podcast who are broken, hurt, confused, don't know what to do, to understand that there's a way out. I don't care how bad you get to the bottom.
Come on.
You can get back up.
Claw your way out.
You are a living proof. So if you've been divorced, maybe mismanaged your money, broke, busted, disgusted, as they say, you are one of the real ones. You know, people like me and Kim, you know, we go through life issues, but we have a relentless spirit saying we're not going to quit. Listen, I've enjoyed my conversation with her. I've got to have her back again, man, because I am literally crying, not because I'm hurting, but I mean, so many good nuggets. So please don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with everyone you can so that they can benefit from our conversation. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next time on Henry's Podcast.